Yes, Oklahoma is in everybody's mouth. But one college football expert had some things to say that now we've got to talk about it, because what he did just surprised a bunch of doubters and leaned in with somebody else that I fully respect. So let's talk about it. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. So, Josh Pate of the Josh Pate College Football Show, which is now part of On3, had some pointed things to say about Oklahoma going into this season in his preview. And we've got to touch on a couple of things that he talked about, because it leaned directly into one thing that I heard, I was reading in one of the college football previews, that Sooner fans should be excited about, and the doubters should probably be upset. So I want to lead off with this, though. First and foremost, I appreciate y'all pulling up. And one thing I want to make sure that I do here on this channel, when we have our live streams and the podcast and just the quick videos here, my goal isn't to tell you what to think. My goal is to make sure that you have all the information possible to have an educated take on your own and to be able to defend your squad as you talk ball. Because, hey, we know the shots are coming, pow, 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 at Oklahoma and their fans because of how last year went. And so Josh Pate kind of dove a little bit into that on his show. And, yeah, the ammunition he put together for you all, some pretty strong stuff. Let's talk about it. So first and foremost, as you all know, Oklahoma finished the year 6-7 losing record. You know, the second one in the 3 years that Brent Venables been here so far. So, of course, everybody's down on Oklahoma. I got a buddy of mine that keeps calling me and keep reminding me of that. And he also keeps talking about how Oklahoma ain't got no chance of truly surviving the SEC. We've got too much adjusting to do in order to make it. Well, I was actually having a conversation with one of our guys over on Locked On College Football Show, Mr. McLaughlin. Check that episode out later this week. And one thing I made mention to remind a lot of people is this. Brent Venables ain't going nowhere. He's going to get his 5 years. And he's going to get his 5 years specifically because the one side of the ball that he is required to make sure gets better year over year has gotten better year over year. And that's the defense. So when Josh Pate was talking about Oklahoma, he keyed in on that. Make sure you watch the episode. I got the link in the description below so you can go watch the full breakdown. But in Josh Pate's eyes, Oklahoma is a top 10 team in the country. To him. He even said that to Teddy and Gabe over there at the Oklahoma Breakdown. So in two places, and I've actually, when I talked to him at SEC Media Days, he said the same thing. He is sold on what Oklahoma can be, and it's really because Oklahoma has specific things they needed to fix, and guess what? In Pate's eyes, they fixed it. You struggled on offense. The offensive coordinator wasn't figuring out. The play call wasn't very good. Blah, 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 blah. So you go get Ben Arbuckle, who also brings his quarterback with him, and then you decide, you know what? We probably should get a little bit more firepower in the backfield just in case to help out with this setup. So you go get Jay Knott. Now you got yourself a massive set of pieces, and then the wide receiver room was a big struggle. So what you do, you go get 7 wide receivers out of the transfer portal. You just built yourself up with all the pieces you struggled with. You needed a little bit more help on the line, so you went and got one of the most coveted tackles in the portal in a Derek Simmons. Believe me, just because he came from Western Carolina didn't mean people didn't want him. He was considered top 20 in the country in the transfer portal. Get yourself a big lineman. Then you go grab 2 more former starters from Stanford. You shored up that line to make sure that you've got depth on depth on depth. Plus, you got 2 really good true freshmen in Michael Fasusi and Ryan Foger that may see some snaps, this year because you got depth on depth on depth. But that's kind of what Pate pointed out. But there was another piece to me that I don't feel like Pate pointed out enough that I think a lot of you fans should recognize. So this season, the Sooners did struggle, yes. And they did go doing the calculation 6-7. But did you know that Oklahoma led in 9 of those games at the half? Yes, they led in the Ole Miss game. Right, so Out of the game, they were leading at the half in 9 games. So in a lot of those situations, you usually end up winning said games. Fair enough. It is fair. If you don't turn the ball over in some circumstances from, the quarterback position, there's a very good chance you can go out there and win some of them games. Is that a fair statement? Typically is. Oklahoma's going to have that better this year. And this gauntlet of a schedule, we're going to go through this schedule game by game. We'll go through it the week before the Illinois State game. So make sure y'all remind me that we're going to talk about that right before the season starts. But understand that the players they're going to have to go against, they're going against a lot of new quarterbacks, man. And I think that that's the thing that's just like killing me in these conversations in the discourse around Oklahoma and this season is everybody keeps forgetting the fact that Oklahoma, even though they have a gauntlet, they're playing 7 teams that are ranked in the top 25 of the coaches poll right now. Yes, the schedule's tough, but that don't mean the Sooners can't win it. Don't mean that they can't win those games because the opposition is still dealing with new quarterbacks. There's a lot of change with a lot of these teams. We'll go through each roster and each opponent. Don't worry. You'll have all of that content the week before the season starts. I think I'm going to go backwards and do every game backwards all the way up to the Illinois State game. That way you have something every day right before the season starts on how I feel about each team. But you got to understand, 9 games, Oklahoma had the lead at the half. Oklahoma had all the opportunity to win at least 9 games this past season with an abysmal offense. They just could not get over the hump. They couldn't get over themselves, basically, but the defense did. Now, one other thing that Pate really jumped into is, he talked about the defense, and he kind of thinks the defense may be a little bit better this year than last. I tend to agree with him. Now, on the conservative side, he did say the defense would be top 20. That was a conservative statement. Last year, they were, in most metrics, within the top 15 of everything, some spots top 10, especially top 10 in efficiency in a lot of the metrics. I have Oklahoma finishing, once again, in that exact same spot. I think Oklahoma finishes as a top 10 defense this year. I actually think they can finish top 5 in defense, all because of them facing new quarterbacks. That's the thing that's going to help Oklahoma this year. So I'm not saying that the defense isn't legitimately better than last year's, but I am saying that I think that the defense is going to appear better than last year's because they're not going to see enough veteran quarterbacks to cause them to not look better. Like, there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to be able to put out there that the opposing team may not be prepared for. And to me, that's your saving grace as a team like Oklahoma. When you do that, man, there's a good chance that you cause problems. So when you look at the way Oklahoma is set up, when you look at the way this schedule is built, I see why Josh Pate says this. And I can see why a lot of doubters will be surprised. Let me put it to you this way. When I break down this offensive line, there was a tweet by a Texas person. Texas, University of Texas, our rival, said that we will be the best front that they will see. Front 7 they will see on the defensive side of the ball this season. Yes, we have Texas writers admitting that they think that Oklahoma has the best front 7 in the conference. And I had fans in the comments section repeating saying, yeah, I think Oklahoma's got the best one too. Hey, I'm just the messenger here. We'll break down all the positions starting next week, so keep your eyes open. We're going to go through every single position like we always do, and I'm going to make sure y'all know who's the ones to keep your eyes out for and all that. Let me know what you think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Do y'all think Josh Pate crazy? Y'all think Josh Pate is out of line with the statements that he made? I want to hear from you all. All right, we will, of course, keep these videos coming. We'll talk practice. There's been a lot of practice notes that came out today. Tomorrow, the team is off, so it's the perfect day to break down the last few days and give you kind of my full synopsis and thoughts and how I feel about how we performed. Because, hey, this is what we're doing now. We are in the offseason, and this is all we got to do is to hype a team up. But I'm not going to gas Oklahoma up in the capacity of telling y'all they're going to be a perfect team. No, they won't be. But I want you all to have the information that gives you the tools to be able to have an intelligent conversation with those fans that are rational and irrational, and reminding them, hey, yeah, you may hate Brent Venables for whatever reason, but he gave you what he said he was supposed to do. He gave you a good defense. Now he's just got to get the offense to follow suit. And I promise you, I think he will. You made this far, let the content hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We'd love for y'all to join this family of Sooner fans talking OU football. We're about to expand heavily into SEC and college football in general, and we're going to have a blast doing it. I'll have some more videos coming down the line, so yeah, we'll chop it up soon. Peace.